Whatever you're doing, however you spend your time, that tells you who you are. So think about what it is you like to create in your life experience. Once I look at how you commit your time, once I do an evaluation on how you spend your time, I can tell you exactly what you're committed to. People that say they have dreams or want to open a business or want to do something differently than what they're now doing, they don't like their jobs, they're unhappy, they're unfulfilled. People who say they want to improve their income level, look at how they spend their time. How they spend their time, the commitment of their time, how they use that will really tell the truth. People who said, I'd like to do better, but you don't find them in vocational or technical schools upgrading their skills and their knowledge, how they spend their time, that will tell you what's going on. People who say they want to normalize their weight, they want to be healthy, but every time you see them, they're eating, that will tell you that they're committed to being obese for the rest of their lives. People tell you they want to stop smoking and they're lighting up at that time. Folk that say, I want to stop drinking, and every time you're in their face, they're reeking with alcohol, that will tell you what's going on. Don't have to listen to what they say, just watch what they do. Commitment shows up in your life in what you do. On the other hand, you can make the commitment to your life that you don't like the results that you have, and that you're going to do something about it. See, that power is available to all of us. People who look at life and decide, I want something different for myself. Carol Hatfield. Carol lives in Detroit, single mother, decided that she wanted to go into her own business, did not have enough money to do it. She wanted to have a health food store. She sold her car and used the money to start in a little storefront, a little hole in the wall. She rode to work on a bicycle. And then when she got enough money, she bought a motor scooter and did that for a long time. She's now a very successful person. She now has 3 health food stores. She said it was hard. It's a struggle, Les. She said, but I did it. She said, I made the commitment to do it, and I did it. Why is it that people are frightened by commitment? Because when you say the word commitment, that intimidates a lot of people. Why? Because it means you have to deliver. See, most people, you ask them, hey, look here, I'd like for you to do this. And they'll say, I'll try. I'll try means that is my escape clause. When I don't come through, it's really a polite no. I don't have the courage to tell you no, so I'll tell you I'll try. Hey, look here, I need you to come to this meeting. I'll try. I say, what do you mean? You're going to lean to They say consciousness is what we are. I literally look at myself and say, how is it that I didn't do this before? Why is it that I couldn't see this before? And the reason that I didn't see it before, because I didn't challenge myself. I didn't put myself out here. See, the reason that most of us go through life never discovering our true greatness, literally walking, breathing corpses, the uncommitted life isn't worth living. Why? Because it doesn't produce anything. See, you only make things happen. Your life only counts. You only make a difference when you are committed. When you make a commitment with your life. That's the people that make a commitment with their lives. The people that make a commitment to their customers. The people that make a commitment to their families, to their relationships, are the people that make the greatest impact in life. What is commitment? Commitment is the salesman who says, look here, I'm going to make $1,000 today and I'm not going home. You can turn the lights out. The janitors could be here running the vacuum cleaner. I'm not leaving here till I do it. I used to be a door-to-door salesman. I had X number of TVs. I had a minimum amount that I knew I had to sell every day in order to provide for my mother, who was ill at the time, who had lost her job at the M&M cafeteria because of arthritis. And I said, I'm going to go door to door, and sometimes I would not come home until 1 o'clock at night, knocking on people's door, people closing. What do you want? Would you like to buy a nice working month's television set, no money down? No. What about an Emerson TV? No. Thank you very much. Do you know anybody else that would be interested? No. Thank you very kindly. Knock on another. Hello. Would you like to buy a nice working television set, no money down? No, get away from our door. Thank you very kindly. Do you know anybody else would be? Yeah, my cousin, he lives 2 doors down. Thank you very kindly. I tell him you sent me. When I heard your cousin told me that you wanted to buy a television set, told me to come here and talk to you, we got a special discount for you. Yes, come in, I'm interested. I would just keep right on. I would not go home until I did it. It's an interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, that when we put ourselves in a situation where we say we're going to do it, it puts you in another zone where the universe responds to you. When you have that kind of consciousness, see, the universe responds to the man or woman that refuses to be denied, because that is your commitment. That business that you want, that book you want to write, that dream that you have of controlling your destiny, that is yours. That power to create that and to manifest that, that is yours. That's available to you. But you've got to be willing to stand there and face disappointment, not have support, feel lonely, doubt yourself sometimes. I lost my house at one point. I lost my car. I was broke. My credit was bad. I was sleeping at different friends' houses on their couch or on the floor. There were times, months, that I slept on the floor of my office and got up early and dressed before my staff got there to give them the impression that I got there early before they did. And we all pretend not to know what we knew, that the boss was staying in the office. So we never talked about it. But I refuse to give up on my dream. And what happens? They say, you know, in the prosperous years, you put it in your pocket. In the lean years, you put it in your heart. It makes me appreciate it even more. Even more. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The disappointment, the pain that I've gone through by keeping the commitment.
Here's the thing.
Keeping the commitments that you have might mean taking a stand that's unpopular.
But what you do when you're faced.
Something was said one time. When you take a position, it says cowardice asks the question, is it safe?
You don't become great by getting everything
Politics asks the question,
no, that's not
is
a
it
reality.
popular?
What happens is you go through the
conscience
struggles,
or
you go through the
commitment asks
hardest
the
moments
question,
in your
is
life,
it right?
and then you find out what you're made out of.
And
you
see, most
find
people
out
rather
how much
operate
fire
from the
you
first
can
two.
go
Is
through
it
in
safe
your
for me
life.
to take this position? I remember when I was a state legislator.
It's never
I saw
easy.
guys
It's always hard.
and
It's
women
always
who
ugly.
believed in
And to be
legislation
honest,
very strongly, but because the Speaker of the House said
you.
we won't go with that,
so embrace
they
it.
backed down.
Embrace the hard times in your life because they won't last.
And they felt bad about
Embrace what you
it.
have
They wouldn't
right
take the
now in your
position
life
because they didn't want the
because it
Speaker
could
of
be
the House
gone
to be
tomorrow.
angry at them.
And that's the
They wanted to
reality.
be all right
That's the
with all the
reality
rest
that
of
we
our
don't
colleagues.
live in a society
See, it
that we
takes
say,
a great
oh,
deal of strong courage
it's going to be
and
around
commitment
forever.
on your
I got
part
enough
to
time
step
in the
out
world,
a
but the
line.
reality
You know,
is
Henry
that you
David
don't
Thoreau says,
have
a man
enough
doesn't
time.
keep pace with his companions. Perhaps he's listening to the
phone's
beat of a
on
different
some
drummer.
kind of
Let him
percentage that
dance
you
to
don't
the
know when
music
it's
that
gonna
he
turn
hears,
off and shut
however
down
measured
forever.
or
That's
far
your
apart.
life.
When you are
You
committed,
could be
you're
on your
dancing to the
deathbed
beat
tomorrow.
of a
And there's not
different
enough
drummer.
people out here
Don't
preaching this
expect
message
people to
saying live
understand
your
you.
life to the fullest.
Don't expect it to make
Take
sense to
risks.
anybody why you've got
Make
to do
the commitment.
this. Why you have got
Push
to
yourself
go.
past your
why you leave,
boundaries.
this is a good job. I'm going.
No,
they pay you
they don't want you
well.
doing
I'm
that.
going.
They want you
just
in
a
your
few
9 to
years for
5 job
retirement.
where you hate
I'm
your life and you're
going. Why?
miserable.
I don't understand.
Why?
You don't have to.
Because it benefits them.
I'm
And that's the
going
sad
for me.
reality is that you spend paycheck to paycheck without
Because
ever
I've
getting
made a different
ahead.
kind of commitment with my life.
And you're
This
stuck
is something
and you're
I
trapped.
have got to do.
And there's people out there that are going
Commitment.
to preach the opposite, say, you know what, live beneath your
It means
means.
taking a stand.
It's not about a paycheck.
Taking a stand for you.
It's about your happiness because you only
It
got a
means
certain amount of
delivering.
time on this earth to affect a
It
certain
means
amount of people.
coming through.
So start putting your
What if you
effort
don't
into
keep your
something you
commitment, Les?
believe in. Even if it
What
has,
if you give
even
it
if it
everything
means you have to
have
lose
and you
everyone
come
and
up short?
everything. That's the
Or
problem.
if you don't
People
give it
aren't
everything
willing to
you have?
risk.
What if you get weak
You're not
along
willing to
the way?
risk your
You throw in the
happiness
towel
for a
on yourself.
year
You surrender
towards
to your
a goal
emotions.
that you
What-
know
what-
you
what
believe
then?
in.
A lot
I
of people
believe in
become
suicide
discouraged.
prevention. I didn't always
become
believe in it,
frustrated.
but I believe in it
And
now.
they say,
And I
"Oh, what
volunteer
the
my
heck?"
time
and they go back to doing
on
what
the
they were doing
phones,
before, saying it
talking to
doesn't
people
work.
on the
Here's what I
worst
suggest.
day
Number one,
of their
that
life.
does happen. So
And it's
take total
hard.
responsibility for it. Just
But it's
own
needed.
it. Don't make any
For me,
excuses.
it's what I'm
on
good
why
at.
you
It's
gave in.
I know
or why you
it's
didn't
making
come
a
through.
difference.
Just own it.
How are you going to make a difference in this
Face
world?
to flak, whatever
You
it
only
is.
got a certain amount of time.
Stand up inside yourself.
Start utilizing it.
Next thing is, assess the situation. How
I
did
can't
you
tell
get
you
here?
how
What
hard it
happened
is
that you
just to
broke down, that you had a
keep
breakdown
getting beaten
and
down
you surrendered?
and just
What
feeling
happened?
like you're going
What
nowhere.
was going on?
Waking
See,
up
when I
every
used to go on a
day,
diet, and I no longer
knowing
do
that
that, I've
today
made a
you gotta
commitment to a
fail.
healthy lifestyle.
Today is the day
I
that you
used
have
to
to
eat up
wake
until
up
12 midnight
and things
on
aren't going to go
Sunday.
the way that you want them, and
Anything
you're not
that
going to
wasn't
accomplish
moving.
what you set out to do. But you just might get a little
And
bit
on
closer.
Monday, I would get up and eat a fruit,
And that's the
light
hardest
fruit
thing for
breakfast, and
people.
for
And
lunchtime,
that's the hardest thing for me is just
I
to
would,
wake up and
fix
admit
some
that I'm going to
boiled
fail,
chicken
admit that I'm going to do
meticulously
something
peel
wrong,
the skin off and
and
eat
then
the
I'm going to
chicken,
screw up.
and then eat the skin.
I feel that I'm such a lone wolf in this life because I have the dedication just
look in the
to
mirror
constantly
and
make
become discouraged
mistakes.
because my stomach doesn't
And I
look
do it
like
in my
a washboard or one of
relationships,
the
and I do it in
Avon
my
Haley
businesses,
dancers.
and I do it in my life, and I
I
learn
say,
from my
what's the
mistakes.
use?
That's
And
the
then I go to the
difference is
refrigerator
I
and
don't
eat
keep
food
making
cold
the same
standing right there
ones.
in the refrigerator.
And the people that
So
get
when
to
I
hang
evaluated
around me,
where
and
I
the
broke
people
down,
that
I
know
realized
that
I can't
Addison's
have
going to
junk
mess
food
up,
in the
he's
house.
not going to be perfect, but
So I
he's
had
going
to
to keep
remove that.
swinging, he's going to
Then I
keep going up
realized
to
there's certain
bat, and
streets
the
I
people in the
couldn't drive
crowds are
down.
going to keep yelling at him, booing him, and just saying that he's the worst person in the world.
So
It's
I
going to
changed my
happen. I
route.
know it because I live it.
I stopped taking people
I
to
constantly
lunch
wake
or
up
to
with
dinner
that,
because I couldn't sit there
knowing
and
that
watch
that's
them
what I
eat.
do. That's
When
who
I
I
had to go
am.
someplace and
And
speak
I've
and they were
accepted
eating,
my
I said,
flaws and my
call me
failures.
downstairs when
And
it's
I've
time
taken
for me
my
to
flaws
speak,
and my
because if I sit
failures,
at
and
the
I've
table looking at them, the
set them
food's going to
down
call my name.
to build a bridge over my
And I
problems.
know this.
To know that I'm not perfect,
So I
to
had
know
to
that
begin
there's
to
always something
make
that I
sure
can
that I
improve
wasn't
on.
putting
That's
myself
the
in a
hardest
position
thing.
where I would give up on my
Just to
commitment. Am I
keep
making sense to
swinging.
you?
To
So I
get up
began to
there
strategize
and
around
swing with
avoiding
all your might,
situations
even
where I
though
knew
you
that I
might
was
not
going to
hit
become
that
weak.
ball.
Another thing I
Just
do
to
when I
keep
don't
going.
keep my commitment, I either
To get up to
deny
the plate.
myself something or I do a trade-off.
To not listen to the
If
naysayers,
a glazed donut
the
takes
people who say
advantage
you
of me,
can't do it. Give it your
then I
all.
require myself to
and
do
take
an
that
extra
swing.
25 setups.
I know it's not
Or I
easy.
walk for an extra 15
I
or
know
20
you might
minutes.
miss. I know
Because
you
I got a
might
hammerlock
fail.
on my head and say, come
I
on
need
over
you to
here.
step up there. And
So
I need
you might
to
have to
swing
deny
with
yourself
all your
something
might. I
or
need
do
you
a
to give the
trade-off.
best shot you got.
Do something that will offset
Because if
it.
I can live my life
The
and
other
not
thing
be
is,
worried about the criticism
start again.
and the hate
So
and the
what? You fell
reviews
flat on your
and the
face.
negative
So what?
and the
Start
naysayers,
again.
and so can
Learn
you.
from the experience and start
Just
again.
get
Don't
up.
count yourself out.
And do what you
Don't
know
sentence
you need
yourself
to
to a
do.
lifetime of being miserable, a
all
lifetime of being
dealing with
broke,
it
a lifetime of
in
being
our own
unhealthy,
ways.
a lifetime of being in a relationship
But
that is no
you
longer fulfilling to you,
are one of
a
a
lifetime
kind.
of working on a
And there's
job
no
that,
one
that does not bring you satisfaction, that's
world
not giving you the creative
like you.
urge that you need and that got to have in your life that stimulates you. Don't sentence yourself like that. You are a human being. Don't volunteer your life that way. Your life has too much value to the universe. You've got something to contribute. You've got something to give. And so what if you make a commitment and you're not able to do it like a pro? That you're not good as everybody else. Live in the moment. I like what this says. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and verities of existence, the bliss of growth, the splendor of action, the glory of power. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. See, if we just start enjoying where we are, if we make that kind of commitment, to enjoy where we are, to experience the experience of life where we are, to do all we can right now where we are. Forget about the might be for your health. It might be to be a happier person. It might be to make a difference in your community. It might be that. Where is it? I say that commitment shows up in the man or woman who has some idea, some dream that they've been nurturing within themselves, and no one believed it. No one saw it for them. That they weren't masters at it. They weren't experts at it. No one would build a statue and ever call their name and recognize them. They never made it to the front page of the newspaper, but they had something that was theirs, something that was their baby, something that they loved and they believed in, and they just did what they could with what God gave them with their dream. Commitment shows up, and people that are willing to give themselves a chance, who look at their lives, look within themselves and say, I know that this just cannot be it for my life. I know that there's something I'm supposed to do. I don't know right now. Or maybe you do know. Maybe you do know, and you've talked yourself out of it. And I understand that. Because I'm late. No. Everything happens as it should. I got the courage to step out, to become committed. I was seriously not serious before. And I decided, it took me some time to build up the courage to become committed because it frightened me. So I understand wrestling with it. I wish I could tell you I've been doing this for 20 years. I haven't. I'm just glad that I decided to become committed before I left here. And wherever you are, decide that you're going to commit your life now. And let it show up in your contribution. Let it show up in what you have to share. And whatever commitment that you make, honor your commitment as yourself. Honor your word as yourself. Whatever you put out there, do it with what you've got. I want to thank you very much for your consciousness. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying it's been a plumb pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you all here.